Okay, well, good morning, Bear Bull traders, and welcome to the first ever official pre-market show, which we're going to go ahead and call this one the Morning Brew for the time being. I'm really liking the way that sounds, and it's notably the way my watch list was named prior to us discussing this. So. My name is Jared Champagne. I'm a day trader, swing trader, a little bit of an options trader, and I've been doing this for about 2.5 years. Um, Throughout my journey, I've learned quite a bit about market analysis, different ways to read and interpret theory about the market and correlations between different products. So I wanted to have a session and a format to expose some of what I've learned over these past couple of years, and also to start to more formalize how we can leverage this even in our short-term intraday, day trading, or even swing trading perspectives. So what I've been doing over the past couple of weeks is in the Bear Bull Traders chat, we've been logging in right at 8 o'clock Eastern. We've been looking at a couple of different products from a higher time frame perspective, layering in a couple of different indicators and ways to interpret data, and trying to see if we can find notable correlations or notable trade ideas that we can bring into our intraday perspective, or even to think about some swing trade opportunities. So with that said, I wanted to welcome you all first and foremost to this session. We're going to be going over a few basic principles in this first session. Obviously, not everyone has the same level of experience. Not everyone is familiar with some of these topics. And then over time, we should be able to build something really solid, really structured, so you can look forward to different topics if they're appreciative to what you're doing. And then ultimately, this just becomes part of the pre-market prep, something to look forward to every single day. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump into it. I wanted to start off, given that it's the 1st of March, I think it's a good time to start a session like this. And I wanted to take a step back, look at the SPY, or the S&P 500 ETF. I wanted to look at it from a monthly perspective. This is a pretty, you don't have to look at this chart very often. It doesn't change very often. But I think at the beginning of a new month, it's good to see how your candle closed and what sort of patterns are forming on this very long-term perspective relative to something that we trade pretty much every day, which is the market. So, and for reference, I get this question a lot. This platform is Thinkorswim. So I'm going to go ahead and use this platform. I think it's a little bit more visually appealing to what I'm trying to present, and I can layer in a couple of different indicators that may prove useful over time. So with our monthly candle, we just had our February candle close. Some notable things to kind of take note of is obviously we're still in a strong bullish uptrend on the monthly. We still have a lot of strength in different areas of the market, always changing, always evolving. But I like to take note of specifically topping and bottoming tails on larger time frames. And when I look at the monthly, I see that both January and February, both of those months close with significant topping tails. January, we actually closed slightly bearish. We closed maybe at the lower end of the candle. And then this past February, we're closing a little bit bullish, but with a significant amount of value placed at the top. So when I look at this chart, I'm kind of thinking, okay, we're starting to see less and less acceptance of price higher and higher. We're not seeing a strong ignition candle. We're not seeing pure buying. We're seeing a little bit more volatility and a little bit more downside pressure, similar to what we had in October and September. What this means is that, we need to be a little bit more on guard. We're kind of looking closer to the lower end of the range to see if there is some amount of support to bring us much higher in this market. And then ultimately, if the bears, or if there is enough pressure, I would want to see some of these candles maybe confirm with a breakdown, sort of a loss of the entire candle. And that would be most notably if we could lose something like 370 on the monthly. That would be a pretty significant loss of the February candle, and maybe a confirmation of prices moving lower. Switching over to the weekly, I think similar perspective. Here you can start to see some of the volume confirmation that we saw last week. We're definitely in a moment of potential pressure in this market, as we've tried to move higher over the past, I would say, couple of weeks, maybe the beginning of February. We left sort of what some people call an island structure, where you have very small candles, usually a gap on your ignition candle, and you're leaving a lot of longs or shorts trapped up here. They didn't get a lot of follow through, and they positionally are just in a bad spot. And with last week's candle, a lot of selling. We definitely saw on days like Thursday significant downside moves in this market, with a lot of pressure in multiple sectors. So we want to keep, our top level range in mind. This would be something that the bulls would love to reclaim to kind of validate any longs that are trapped up here. And then we have our notable sort of loss of the range, multiple days of selling with a couple of rebounds strewn in between. And then finally, the perspective that most of us are usually looking at day in and day out is our daily. Becomes a little bit more clear here how the volume certainly picked up over the past 2 sessions, Thursday and Friday of last week. We had, that leftover, I would say, top of the range, where a lot of longs are potentially trapped in this market, thinking that, with our V-bottom rebound that we had at the end of January, beginning of February, people were thinking, oh, this V-bottom, it's perfect, we're just going to keep on going higher. And that unfortunately left some people trapped up here long. Some of them maybe have gotten out in the volatility, but we do expect to know that some longs are maybe trapped up here, and they're looking to see some level of support around the 380 area, which was the lower end of our range from last week. So on this daily perspective, I've taken off a few drawn trend lines that we had previously done. I wanted to just go through the exercise of redrawing those. And I think for the one that I'm most interested in, the 4-hour kind of shows the candle structure the best. What I'm most interested in is this topping candle. We'll take our drawing tool, grab our trend line, and we'll just kind of swing it around to see when it first touches. You could notably draw it at the top of this peaking pattern, but I think prior to the past couple of weeks, this was our top side channel. And notably, we tried to break out, we lost it, and then we had multiple days of volatility to the downside. Similarly, if we were to draw another channel, bottom side channel, I would probably pick somewhere around here. Oops. Let's try that again. Swing it around, and then we're looking at candle structures somewhere in this area, also notably parallel to our top side channel, and that will be a good indication of sort of where price likes to live. We had our run up after the election, confirmation was made. I'm using this little pullback to start the channel since it lines up well with this and this price action. And then obviously, we've been staying in this bullish channel for quite a while, ever since the end of October, beginning of November. We've had days in, days out of volatility up and down. But I think the thing to respect is that whenever you're at the top side of the channel, you want to be a little bit on guard. This is a little bit of an extended move. We left a lot of value up here, and unfortunately that long value has not really shown itself to have any profitability as of yet. So as we start to breach lower into potentially areas of support at the lower end of the channel, we want to keep on watch to see how far this market can pull down and whether this channel will be respected. This is probably the time frame you want to carry into some of your intraday ideas, especially if you're looking for price to reverse or to have some sort of significant reaction. And as you go through multiple sessions, you would use different intraday levels, both horizontal and trend line, to find areas of interest. And then finally, on our 10-day, 30-minute, what I like to do for this one is load up just a simple volume profile study. Bring this volume down a little bit, change my pointer. Okay. So for those unfamiliar, volume profile, anything that shows value over time or price over time, is a way to gauge where the market is accepting price. So the market will travel through different prices all the time. There'll be different amounts of volume exchanged at those prices. And whenever you have an area of interest where a lot of time is spent, typically you will have volume sections, or some people call them value areas, where the market likes to basically return and confirm that that value is still accepted. As news comes out, as changes in the market occur, you will have value moving around to different spots. If one area has been accepted for a while, but something changes, you will have value moving higher or lower relative to how the market is interpreting that information. So I like the 10-day, 30-minute because it gives us a little bit of information intraday, and it also gives us a little bit of sort of like a swing perspective. If we're exceptionally far removed from value, we can look to play sort of a counter trend bounce. If we're on the edge of losing value, we could play something like a breakdown or breakup, especially if we're at a significant level. And then just everything in between, kind of knowing where low value is relative to high value being a much more challenging spot to move away from, and low value being areas where the price can change significantly. You can sort of trend up and trend down really fast through areas of low value. What I'm seeing here, if I just make sure my perspective is set up correctly, okay. What I'm seeing here is that, we've tested the low end of our value over the past 10 days. 378 was sort of this spot that we marked in Friday's session. And amidst all that volatility, we are opening up slightly higher. We are still somewhat contained within Friday's session, so it's not as if we gapped up significantly. But even though we closed weak, we are gapping up. We're trying to test this upper range, and we're sitting in what's called the VA low, VA high range. More to come on this information. I don't want to get too much into it in this first session, but the idea is that value is sitting within this range to about a 68% degree of value. So from a statistical probability perspective, the VA low and VA high defines a range from this indicator's point of view. And when we're sitting somewhere near these ranges, we've already moved back into the value zone, the value area. I would be still looking to target maybe the VPOC, which tends to be that your highest area of value, and that'd be sitting somewhere around 390. So obviously there's a lot of proving to be done. We have some horizontal resistance right here. We have horizontal resistance from Friday's range. If we can move across that, there's a lot of trending activity here, which doesn't provide a lot of value. There's pockets. And if we can sort of climb this wall, maybe make a stop at 388 and then run back to value at 390, that would be a relatively probabilistic way to view how value is setting up over the next week. So we spent a lot of time on the SPY. This is a pretty significant, market ETF that a lot of people have eyes on. I'm going to shift over to the Qs, and I'm going to bring it back once again to that monthly, but I'm going to spend a little bit less time discussing different aspects. Move this study. And remove my trend lines. We'll go ahead and redraw those. So on the Qs, I would say even more so, sort of a concerning look. We've had multiple topping tails. There's been a lot of pressure in the tech sector overall, along with simply one of the strongest sectors over the past, call it year. A lot of eyes on the tech sector, and we're seeing some monthly rejection of price in these higher areas. Once again, significant topping tail, significant bearish sort of pattern, and we're looking to see if we can maybe get some confirmation of a breakdown around 310 loss. Shifting over to the weekly, once again, high volume. We had a pretty volatile session in the QQQs last week. We sort of left our island structure. I think it's even more clear on the Qs that any longs here were completely engulfed by the following week's candle, and then we had significant downside action in the Qs. We are hitting some levels of horizontal support. I think the most notable one is just going to be this previous high, and then prior to the election breakout. So all eyes are kind of on this support area. I think this would be a significant inflection point, and we'll kind of need to see if they're going to pull it up higher and roll it over even further, or if that's going to be sort of the retest of previous resistance leading into future support and a new breakout of all-time highs. Going to our daily, there is an existing channel in the Qs. It's a little bit less structured, I would say, than the SPY. Overall, one of the things to really take note of is if you draw a simple trend line from your COVID lows, you swing it out, and then you touch the first candle down here, you'll see that we are starting to lose trend. This would be, prior to last week's actions, you'd have your trend line set up somewhere over here, and then you'd extend it out further, and you'll see that we're starting to lose trend. So notable volume increase at bulls and bears trying to defend this area of support, this trending area of support. I think overall, we're losing horizontal trend line support, but we're still eyeballing sort of a bounce play as we get closer to 305 to 310. And then bringing it into our short time frame just to see if there's any notable differences between the SPY, between the SPY and the Qs. I think one thing to really call out here is that while the SPY was a bit extended from its value over the past 10 days, and we're looking to see maybe SPY have a bit of a recovery. The Qs are notably putting value at lower and lower prices. So what once was a large value area above us, somewhere in maybe like the 330s to 335s, you can see there's a shelf of value in this area. Once we lost this, we left very little value, very little volume was placed as we trended lower. We had a little bit of an attempt to place value here. We lost that as well, fell through another pocket. And now we're seeing about 317 as the spot that we want to kind of take note of. This is our VPOC. And when you're at the VPOC, I think it's sort of a 50-50. You can, test the top, test the bottom of your ranges, but it's notable to see that the Qs are placing value at these lower prices. So, and let's see, I've got a couple questions. I'm gonna just stall real quick. An inflection point for Zemenox on YouTube. It's an idea that you want to see the market have a significant reaction at those prices, not necessarily a bounce or a reversal of trend, just something that is not a sort of fall from grace or an uptrend. You want to see price do something different at that point in time. And then Christian in the chat. What is the blue levels on the right-hand side of the chart? Let's see, blue levels, these are your value areas. This is where volume is being placed with the axis of time. So instead of, with the axis of price, the opposite. So these price levels are relevant to us in the same way that high volume daily candles are relevant to us over time. We want to take note of these ranges because they have a lot of volume. And then if we have a lot of volume at a certain price, we want to take note of those areas as well. So, and obviously more to come on that. We will very efficiently define both what we're using and what we're seeing here, along with how to use it. How can it benefit us? So, Qs, notable value being placed at lower levels, and then finally bring it all the way out to the IWM, which is our small cap Russell ETF. Move the study again. Okay, so notable strength in IWM. We've had multiple trending months in the IWM, one of our strongest sectors overall, or strongest categories overall. However, once again, a little bit of a topping tail. I think nothing overall of concern as of yet on the monthly, just the idea that with other areas of the market being weak, we may want to see more of a pullback in this market, sort of a buyable pullback, and we would be Okay. I'm back. Can anybody hear me? All right. Sorry about that. So, obviously, with some weird connection issue on my side, I'll probably go ahead and call the session for today. Maybe look into what actually happened just then. But overall, just some things to carry forward today. We're seeing weakness in tech. We've seen it over the past couple of weeks. There's been some notable, I would say, significant drawdowns in major tech names and just names with a lot of market cap weight in the NASDAQ. Be looking to those to see if they can have recoveries. And if so, they may provide some of the best oversold long opportunities in the next week to come. Also, keep an eye on things like bond and interest rate yield. We're sort of speculating at this time that a rising interest rate is putting pressure on the tech sector, given that a lot of these companies are growth oriented and the discount rate that's being applied to some of these companies' valuations is having pressure put against it by an inflationary period in the market, a rising interest rate market. So that can obviously change on the dime. So we want to always be careful, always kind of look to see if things are shifting under our feet. And if so, it can provide some really good opportunity, especially if we go from, sort of a trending environment in one area with a correlated aspect, all of a sudden shifting into lower interest rates once again, tech sector sort of being the leader, and then potentially IWM and the SPY following suit. Another thing to kind of note is that the financials love to have a higher interest rate, and we've seen some relative strength in the financial and energy sectors as the interest rate has been rising. So once again, if the financials are going to be selling into a lower interest rate, but tech sector picks up the slack, we could see SPY sort of stabilize and once again continue its bullish momentum. But otherwise, we want to see if anything is kind of all selling at once, or if there's just a disconnect between how strong tech is relative to other major sectors like financials. So with that said, I'll save the rest for tomorrow. And thanks everyone for joining me for the morning brew. I appreciate all of y'all's questions and feedback, and we will continue to improve, adapt, and see how to leverage this information for our trading. So thanks everybody.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market Prep. Good morning, Norm. How are you doing today?
Good morning, buddy. I can't see your smiling face. Is your camera acting up?
No, my camera's fine. What's not fine is the stand of the camera. So this,
Oh,
this morning it gave out on me as I was adjusting it. So I'll have to pick one up today later.
tell the
Uh,
truth. You've been drinking all night. When you came in, you fell over on the mic stand and broke it. Like it pulled a Chris Farley, huh?
Absolutely. Welcome, everybody. We will get faster as switching between Jared to our show. But just want to make sure that everyone can hear us. You were able to hear him okay. And we look forward to having him in the morning, kind of prep us there. So again, great information by Jared, and we appreciate him taking the time to do that every morning very early. So with that said, guys, let's get into it. We have quite a bit in our gapping up list today. As Jared was talking about, the market's a little bit higher this morning, and we can see that on all the stocks that are on here. It's going to be an exciting week. It's going to be an exciting month for sure, as we see the SPY just do these amazing moves, creating a lot of volatility. And let me not take too much of your thunder, Norm. I know this is your area. Let's go into the market pulse and see what's happening here.
Yeah, man. I mean, we had a pretty volatile week last week. We definitely have volatility creeping back in. The VIX came above 30 here and there last week. So a couple of sell-off days. We are gapping up this morning, decent gap, although a little bit of weakness has come in the last 20 minutes or so. So we'll see how that plays out until the market opens. I'm not going to put too much into the gap up yet. But, it could hold, could be good. We'll see. Anyway, we've got, once again, huge gap up list with a bunch of low floats that are way up, and then a few on the down list. But we'll get through as much of this as we can. I have not been able to research everything that's up here, obviously. It's just too much, as we've seen recently. We've got 9:45 a.m., manufacturing PMI final, and then another piece of manufacturing data, 10 a.m., construction spending for January at 10 a.m. as well. So next couple of days, we will have auto manufacturing numbers coming out, which for February, car sales, deliveries, sales, whatever, that'll be coming out, trickling, I believe, beginning tomorrow, since today is the 1st on a Monday. So anyway, should be an interesting week, that's for sure.
Yeah, it sure will be, and we're looking forward to see how we can take advantage of it this week. And for those that are going live this month, especially if you're starting this Monday, again, just take it easy, be patient with yourself, and start very small. I know a few people like to start the beginning of the month. If you're one of those persons, again, just make sure you put all this practice you have done in your simulator into play today, and as you move forward. But the biggest advice we can give you is start very, very small. All right, guys, with that said, let's take a look at our gappers list this morning. We're going to get rid of what we had on Friday here, which was an amazing day. We won't go through it now, but let's focus on what we have for today. So starting out in our gapping up list this morning, we have quite a bit of lower type flow stocks, 36, 17, 15, 4.6, and then more low flows heading down here as well. So let's kind of run through them, see if there's any low flow stocks that looks good. ASLN this morning, they are up 70%, 12 million shares traded. So that's pretty nice there. And their pre-market action very, very active today. So 35 million shares flow, not really a too low of a float, but you want to put it down here and be very careful with it because it can move, right? You want to be cautious with this one. So we'll put it on here. Action looking very exciting this morning. Heading on down, we have APEN, 17 million shares flow. This one not looking so great. Had a nice pop earlier on this morning, just kind of sold off a bit here. So not a whole lot going on there. We'll skip on that one. If it gets more volume, if it gets better, we can look at it. Morph here, MORF, not looking great, guys. And these type of low flow stocks are very dangerous, by the way. The ones that are higher priced like this, that are moving. I mean, look at this candle, guys, starting at 44, ending at 45.08. And how many shares we traded here? We traded 856 share in this one candle here. This is the type of account trades that blow up accounts. You get caught on the wrong side of this, and this thing gaps down. That's just a
block trade anyway, Carlos.
Yeah,
we don't see it. We don't. Yeah, that's just one block trade, and it's got 7,000 shares traded. Other than that, so no reason to even mess with that at all.
Don't look at this, guys. Don't just focus on it's up 24% and it can rip higher here. Do not look at this.
$1.50 spread and nothing traded.
Yep. So stay away from stuff like that. Yep. SCKT. This one's been on our gappers list quite a bit. It's been exciting to watch here and there on the daily. Right now they're up 20%, 400 and almost 500,000 shares traded. Could be something, guys. I'm gonna put it as a possible. Actually, here on the low flow side, I know it can trade very well. It can be very explosive. We just got to be a little bit careful on that one. Heading on down, FLDM. What is this here? They're up 17%. They're not a low float, 73 million shares flow. Pre-market action, not that great just yet. It looks like it's starting to pick up here, but their daily is horrible. Their daily is really, really bad, really choppy, as you can see in here. I'm not a fan of it, so it's just as a possible for now. we can come back to that one. CAN, now we know CAN has been very, very active for us. They are up 17%, 793,000 shares traded. We can look at this one. We can come back to it. That one is good. WIMMI, another one that we've seen quite a bit in the past as well. They can trade very well when they get the volume. This morning, they are up 15%, 343, maybe a possible at best. I'm sure we can probably find something better to keep up here on this list, but we will keep that one on there for now. Let's put it on there. Here we go. All right. What else do we have? I'm going to stop here because again, we have a whole lot on our gapping up list. We're not going to get through everything, but I'm going to go down and go through a few that we have been watching quite a bit. So we have Riot, we have some of the Bitcoin stuff on here. We know Bitcoin's up this morning. AMC has 4.1, up 10%. This could be interesting. I'm going to add AMC here. Let's see what else we have. Plug is one that we've been keeping an eye on. Plug is up nice today, 8%. I like this one right now. Pre-market action, we've seen better out of Plug. Their daily does look good, though. I do like this kind of support that we found here on 42, 44, and now we're getting a little bit of a bounce, so this is nice. And I'll stop here for now. Let's take a look at what's gapping down. Not a whole lot there. ATNX leading the way, down 55%. Brutal drop for them this morning. 2.7 right now. Pre-market action is not great, though. So you have volume. You have a nice drop here, but this pre-market action doesn't look clean at all for the most part. They don't get great volume. Today, they're trading more volume than they usually do on any of these days here. So could be interesting, but man, this is a very, very weak possible, guys, compared to everything else. Not looking good. NVT, this one here, nothing happening there. Block trade. FSR has been so interesting, guys. I know we've been talking about this one in our Discord chat. I know a couple of people took a swing on this last week, and they're doing very well. So congrats to you guys for taking that. It is down 3.9, 841,000 shares traded after two really big days. It's an upgrade on this one last week from JP Morgan to $40. So again, just interesting to keep an eye on. Let's see what happens here if we're going to continue this beautiful run that we have. Again, very extended at the moment. We do have shares for sure, but if it gets the volume that it did last week, this can be a fun one today. ABNB, they are down 2% this morning. Not the best intraday trading stock. Again, it can be a nice swing opportunity if you can catch a good entry, but for the most part, not the best swing trading. So I'm going to keep it off my list, but if you do like this one, by all means, throw it on yours. Norm, what do you like this morning so far?
I'm still looking, but I will point out Workhorse, which is something that we've had a good amount. They have earnings coming out this morning. I don't believe it's been released yet. I don't have the data, but it should be out. So that one will definitely be in play. It's been in play without that catalyst. It's got other things going on as well. So I'll have my eye on it.
Yeah, I like Workhorse too, guys, especially this drop. It's just, it's just a lot going on with Workhorse this morning. Let's see how that is going to trade today. We'll put it on here. That's a good one so far. Okay, excellent, guys. Let's take a look at our chat room. What do we have, guys? Let's start with Jason. Jason's giving us OCGN this morning. This one, I like the daily on this one. Had a great day on Friday. We are up 3.3, 8.1 million shares traded right now. So this is exciting. I do like the way this is setting up at the moment. Pre-market action could be cleaner, but it's not bad. So I like that one. OCGN is on deck. Fabio, I'm only going to take your first one so we can give opportunities to others. So I'm going to take Neo. Neo here right now is up 5.9, 1.8 million. So very active. It's just, again, it's just hard to tell when Neo is in play or not. No, I'm not sure there's any other catalyst specifically to Neo today. But again, it's just difficult to tell when they're in play. This is typically what their pre-market action looks like. EVs have been hot overall. So if you want to watch an EV company, this could be one.
They have earnings after the close, but I mean, that's, people could trade it before that. I usually don't consider that a huge catalyst
right,
or a reliable one. But in other words, it definitely could be in play. That's for sure.
Excellent. So we'll put it.
Of course, we also have delivery data. As I mentioned, auto data will be coming out for February here in the next trickle out in the next few days.
Okay. So we'll definitely take a look at that one. So Neo is on deck, guys. Let's take a look here. Edwin, we looked at Neo. Let's take your second one here, CCL. CCL right now, they're up 3.4, 1.7 million shares traded. And again, you're going to see a lot of these travel companies do very well. They were talking about it in the news earlier today, with more vaccines coming out, J&J coming out with their vaccine and being with a very aggressive target day of June to spread millions of doses out. Travel companies are going to do well, right? Because people want to feel secure to get on these planes. So American Airlines, United Airlines, as some of you guys are mentioning here, the cruise lines, they're going to do well. Again, I will definitely take a look at United. Yeah, I'll definitely keep United on deck here. I know American Airlines is going to get the volume. That'll be a good one for today. They're up 3.4 with 741. So maybe that can be our main list for now. Heading on down, CCL. Now for CCL and the cruise lines, yeah, I think you could watch these two. Yeah, we can put CCL. I'm going to put as a possible for now because, again, it could be a hit or miss. But we'll take a look at that one. I think the airlines are moving a lot better, more aggressive than the actual cruise lines are. Again, my personal a preference on watching the airlines instead. Heading on down, American Airlines, we have it. That's good. OPGN from Mark. Let's take a look. OPGN, they're up 9.2, 702,000 shares traded, but this is not a great daily at all, guys. This daily doesn't look good to me. It just seems very, very choppy. Even their pre-market action doesn't look good to me. Again, I think today, with the way the market is trading, with the way the volume we're seeing on some of these other stocks that we have seen throughout a couple of weeks trade very, very well, I think this one might be just pushing it a little bit here this morning. Let's take a look at HOL. HOL right now, they are up 9%, 221,000 shares traded. Doesn't look like the best type daily here for the moment. So again, it seems very choppy right now. Their pre-market action does have volume, but it's not trading all that well. It can get better though. It does have potential to get better here. What type of flow do we have going on with HOL?
It's a SPAC. It's a SPAC. Yeah, it's 30 million shares outstanding from what I see.
Okay. Yeah, it's on the lower side. I'm not sure about this one, guys. I'm going to keep it off. I just believe today we're going to have so many other stuff that's going to look great from stocks that are going to get the volume and trade very clean this morning. So even though Dennis, they have the news from NASA, and maybe that could trigger something. Maybe you want to keep this on your back pocket, right? I'll come back to and see how that's going to trade, especially when the volume kicks in. CCL, we do have XOM. Let's take a look at this one. This is not the best intraday trading stock. Now, it looks like they might have some news because they're up 3.7. They got some decent volume this morning, but they don't trade well for the intraday action. This is my concern. Now, this could be a different day today because I do like their daily possible breakout of 757 here if they have news. But again, for the most part, not easy to trade on XOM. It's ExxonMobil, I believe, right? NEO, we do have. Okay, so that one is good. What else we have, guys? Earnings today after the bell. All right, thank you. Sorry, just catching up here. RKT, great pop yesterday. Didn't do much though. Sold off pretty bad. Today they're up 3.8, 496. This could be interesting, man. I mean, it's one to keep an eye on. I don't think it's a one to have on your main list, but definitely one to keep an eye on. Maybe not even as a secondary, just kind of like, let's see what happens over the next couple of days. This is what I feel about RKT. No, correct me if I'm wrong. I know you've been watching this one closely as well.
Yep.
It has potential, but I don't think it's one to sit on your main list this morning.
I traded it on Friday. It sucked.
Yeah, it wasn't clean, right? I mean, it's just so that's my thing, guys. But let's keep an eye on it. I'm just not going to add it right now. I think today we have some pretty good stuff out here. Let's look at MGM this morning. What's going on there? Volume is very light right now, guys. No volume here. So let's move on to the next one. PLTR. What do we have? So 3.4 million. This candle is kind of messing things up a little bit, but their pre-market action is very active. 6.3 right now. Their daily is interesting because we keep bouncing off this 24. Right, a couple of days here bouncing off that 24. So that looks interesting for a possible pop here. We know PLTR could be, could be wild and it could be exciting at times. Possible for now, guys. Again, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it's going to open up. It's one of those stocks that can, if it trades well, it can be very nice. But it also, I think more times than not, is choppier than what it trades nice, right? So we'll have to check that out. All right, CCO we have on deck. DKNG. Let's take a look at that one. DKNG right now, this is the volume is okay. Their dailies, we're on top of this range above the 6148, which is nice. So we're above this here, so I like what's happening there. But for the most part, again, their pre-market action is not great right now. All right, heading on down. But yeah, I agree, Bobby, that their daily is amazing. It looks really, really good. Oxy, let's take a look there. Now, the good thing is that we know DKNG, right? We know the ticker. If it starts hitting our scanners, we can tune into it and see what's going on there. We already know they have a good daily. that would be a great one to spy in the scanners. Oxy right now, not a whole lot going on, guys, at the moment. Again, they're pretty quiet, up 2.7. The volume is not great for them right now. Their daily is interesting. If they would have been hitting up above here for a possible breakout, yes, but this could just end up being a little bit of chop today. So we'll have to see how the market plays out. This could be another one that, again, it tends to move with the market. So if the market runs one way or the other, this could be a good one to watch and try to catch a move. But then you have many like that, like Apple, right? We talked about Apple before. Apple is a great one when the market is trending. You can catch a couple of great positions there. Here's X. X not looking good right now, guys. Volume is very light for X at the moment. Their pre-market action is not great. And also they're tough to trade. They're not easy to trade. I mean, there's a couple of days here where they ran pretty well with some good volume. Unless there's any news on X, I don't think it's one that I'll be watching this morning. All right, guys, let's stop here. I want to take a few from YouTube friends as well. So let's scroll up here. What do we have? I think some of them we might have covered. I think we have RCL. Let's look at RCL. So RCL is actually looking really good here. Why is RCL down? Well, is any news?
Secondary.
Oh, okay, secondary. So that's not the best catalyst to trade, but they definitely got some movement here, more than the other CCL, and they're down, which is interesting. So maybe one to look at later on. But again, the secondary news can tend to not be the best trading news at the market open. POTR, we do have, guys, that's on deck as a possible. Baidu is another one that's not the easiest stock to trade for the way I trade, but they are up 5.1, 453. If you do like this one, add it to your list. But I'm going to skip on this one for me personally. All right, heading on down. POTR is there. That's good. XOM is yes, it is. It's a bad trading stock. We agree with you 100%. XOM is just not a clean type stock. SOS. What do we have here? This one up 23.1, 8 million shares traded. We had this one on our list before. I don't think we kept it. Let's go back here. What's the float on this, by the way, as well? SOS. Let's see here. Yeah, this is one that we couldn't find.
No, excuse me. It is not. Hang on, I can find it for you. Give me a second.
We spoke about this too. I remember.
Yeah, I every time this thing pops up, I don't even have a float. It's a Chinese software company, tech company. I don't have float data, so I wish I could tell you, but it moves like a low float. I can tell you that.
Yeah, no, I remember we kept it off because of that. Yeah, listen, 1 second, guys. All right, excuse me there. Okay, I responded to a message there. Okay, all right, so we'll skip on down for now, guys. Head on down. Why isn't BA on the list? Let's take a look. What's going on with BA? BA looks good. Yeah, you're up 2.8, but this is also kind of an airline type industry play at the moment. So you have American Airlines, you have all these other ones that are looking really good. BA is up 2.8. I like what's happening here now. We're starting to get a little movement with some good volume. If that continues, that can trade very well. And we've seen BA the last couple of days just do so nice. Again, these days look crazy here, but if you look at the intraday, it actually traded very well. So yeah, we can add BA to the list as well. All right, heading on down, what do we have? RCL, Mara. So Mara is a Bitcoin play, guys. So if you look at Mara, yeah, you can put this on your deck. Bitcoin's up today, so they're doing well. But again, for the intraday, for the way we trade, for the way I trade, let me be more specific. I never find a good entry on Mara. When Mara is moving, something else is moving better for some reason. So I have not really traded this. So again, if you like this, definitely put it on your list. They've been very active with the way the Bitcoin is coming up again this morning. They're up nicely here of 15%. You cannot short. Actually, whoa, no, take that back. We do have inventory for short on Mara today. That's interesting. I wonder how much do we have. Hold on, let's see here.
I was gonna say,
never mind. Somebody would take that though. Yeah, that's not gonna help anybody.
Before you even have a chance to
get to it. So again, not a good one today. All right, guys. What else we have? So let's look at a few more here. We have Twitter.
Play rock paper scissors for it.
For the 200, if I'll take 5. You take 5. Andrew would take 1,000 or whatever. We can be fair.
Now you sound like Robin Hood. You can have one share.
Yeah, I tell you. All right, guys. So here we are. Here is Twitter. Twitter right now up 1.1, 259. Again, they're daily interesting, guys. They've been so strong over the last couple of weeks. Look at the move on Twitter. Again, they're extended on the daily for sure. I don't see anything great as far as being in play today. I think it's pretty much flat right now as far as movement goes and as volume. Again, and we know Twitter, they trade heavy volume. So we'll have to wait for the market open for this one to hit the scanners to really be a player this morning. Let's take a look at MU today. MU right now, MU's daily. Look at MU up 2.1. Above their daily all-time highs. You know, they're really not. They really don't have great volume. I'm going to add it because I do like the daily, and MU's been so good to us in the past. So we'll take a look at it, see what comes out of there. I don't think this is going to get any better before the bell. I think we have plenty of other stocks here that are going to be.
Remember when MU was tradable day in, day out?
Oh, every day.
Yeah, hell, you could almost trade the thing on the weekend. It was so active and clean.
Now
it's never in play.
Yeah. It was
Amazing.
MU and AMD, and I think we went probably for a span of 8 months, and that was the first two stocks on our watch list.
It was MU more than AMD
Yes.
by far. Now
Yeah.
AMD is way more tradable, but
Agreed.
MU, yeah,
Agreed,
our good
100%.
buddy is what we used to call it.
That's right. That's right. All right, guys, let's go over to announcements. Norm, I don't have the new copy.
I sent it from the team at PCT email, so it's not from me technically.
Oh,
It should be in there.
okay. All right, so let me check if I find it here because we're
That was an accident.
with the new stuff that's happening. Okay. And it was this morning, Norm?
Oh yeah,
All right,
it's
so
about
we'll do
15
this.
minutes.
We'll start.
Came in at 8:20, brother.
8:20. All right. So we'll start with the breakdown, and I'll try to get that up as you go to the breakdown. So let me bring that up at least, and we can go through that in the meantime.
I just resent it too. All right, so it is Monday. Usually Monday has Brian with his swing trading review every afternoon, Monday afternoon at 2:30. But with COVID being locked up and everything, he's been on the Closing Bell Show far more often than that. That also reminds me to tell you about the Closing Bell Show every Monday through Thursday, 3:30 to 4:15 p.m. That we simulcast over on YouTube. So you can catch Brian with swing trade info over there. Then every Monday night, you've got Carlos's live onboarding class at 8 p.m. Eastern. Immediately following that is Kyle's new technology class. Every Monday live as well. Then Tuesdays and Thursdays, you've got Eamon's trade review. That is in the classroom. Success webinars on Tuesday night, 8 p.m. usually. Wednesday night, 8 p.m. are psychology. And then the mentorship, aka Thursday, every Thursday night live at 8 p.m. That's what we got. Did you find it?
Yeah, I believe
That's the old one.
Okay, I did find it, but it's not uploading yet. Give me 1 second, guys. I want to pump
Sure.
it up here because we got some good stuff happening here that we do want you guys to be aware of. There we go.
All right. You've got this week, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. normal time, Thor's part 2 of Trading Pivot Points will be the success webinar. And then next week, you will have Mike talking about Tradebook, how important it is. That is one of the key pillars that we use over at PCT to help traders develop their trading. All right. And then you have got Dr. Kenneth Reed's Mastermind Pro course, The Kill Zone, talking about Fibonacci's. That is Wednesday at 8 p.m. And then next week, we've got Create a Special Time, 5 p.m. because of her time zone. That is Taming Your Adrenaline. And she's once again going to be talking about chimpanzees. So those are always very popular. Check that out next week. Guys, Dallas meetup, DFW meetup. It is this week, 6 p.m. on Wednesday, the 3rd. Please RSVP in the forum so I can have an idea of how many people to tell. It will be near DFW. I'll have all the info in there. You don't have to have a member. You don't have to be a member. Come let us buy you a drink. And then if you want to participate in the member trade of the day, trade of the week, take a screenshot of your best trade of that day, Mark it up, post it on Twitter, tagging at Bearable Traders, Mike B_BBT, and at Norm BBT. Also use the hashtags BBT family, day trading, and stock market. We'll pick a winner for each day. It'll be announced on the closing bell show and on Twitter as well. And then we will vote over the weekend. The whole team votes on all the trades of the day, and the winner that gets the most votes will be given trade of the week that following Monday. If you are interested in trying out the chat and you're on YouTube watching, use the promo code PREMARKET24. That will get you a discount off the intro membership, which is 7 calendar days, 5 trading days in the room. Also gives you access to those Monday night classes that I spoke about, the onboarding and technology classes. If you're looking to either upgrade your membership or become an elite member, use the promo code LOVE40 to get 40% off. This will be the last day that we bring that one up.
All right, thank you, Norm. Yes, make sure you take advantage of that. All right, guys, let's get to it. Let's start here by fine-tuning our list. Let's start over with CAS.
Did we not have cats this morning?
Oh, how can I forget? Today's Monday. Yes, of course we have Dr. Katz. Let me bring him on in. Hold on a second. Dr. Katz, good morning.
Hey, good morning, doctor. I can't hear you. Can you hear him, Carlos?
No, I can't hear you. I can't hear you neither, Dr. Katz.
No. Huh. No, can't hear him.
No, nothing on my end neither, Dr. Katz.
He's teaching us, maybe he's just teaching us how to settle our emotion, silence our emotions. No, unfortunately not. I don't know. Give it one more shot, Doc, and if not, we'll move on.
See if he can refresh in his browser. So we'll wait for him to come back on. We'll give him a little time here to refresh on his end.
To get started, and if you see him come back in, we can run with
absolutely. All right, guys. While Dr. Katz comes back, let's start talking about CAN here. So CAN looking pretty good this morning, guys. Up 17%, 734,000 shares traded. Oh, it looks like I have them now, and I see volume coming in, so that looks good. Let me bring them in. 1 second. Good morning, Dr. Katz. Can you hear us now?
Good. Can you hear me now? Sorry, guys.
Yes, sir. Good morning, doctor. How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing this morning?
Great. Thank you. Hope you had a good weekend. And I apologize. We finished up a series last week. And what do you have on the plate for us today?
Well, actually, Norm, a slight correction. This is part 4 of our series on coping and managing pressure and stress. Today's Mindful Monday, I was going to be talking a little bit about trading stress management and a couple of areas that I think people can improve upon in terms of stress management relating to their trading. So a couple of the things that are kind of key that I want to mention on this final part is in terms of managing the pressure and stress that people experience, preparation is probably the number one key. There's really no substitute for this. If you're not prepared, anxiety and fear and pressure are going to increase. And it's really easier to prevent stress and the distracting responses from this happening in the first place, rather than dealing with it when it's arrived. So, one of the things I like to say is that you really can't outwork a lack of preparation when it's time to perform. So preparation is really key. And when I talk about preparation, there's a couple kinds. One is knowledge-based preparation that people can do, which is reading news, charts, market data, and information, really your pre-trading day routine. And then there's also mental preparation and routine, which is kind of more the immediate stuff and big picture stuff, mindfulness, meditation, kind of mental reminders. So those are key. Maintenance is very important in stress management. And what I mean by that is having tools in your tool belt to manage stress and pressure when it inevitably occurs. So coping strategies and techniques are really key to develop so that you're able to manage stress. Damage control is another important thing. In the best case scenarios, stress has been prevented and managed before ever arriving. But, bad things are going to happen. Trading mistakes are going to happen. Losing trades are going to happen. So I think that people developing mistake rituals, learning from mistakes, finding teachable moments, how you deal with damage control in the moment during stressful moments. Again, labeling becomes very important in stress management. And what I mean by this is, again, reframing stress in a more positive and productive way is important. Not viewing it as such a negative thing, but stress is a kind of a natural, integral part of trading. And so view this as kind of just a natural, normal, healthy thing that you can embrace. Positive self-talk becomes very important in managing stress. You really don't want to get into any negative or judgmental talk about yourself. It kind of really undermines your whole sense of self-worth and your self-confidence. When you do that, it makes you feel worse about yourself and really doesn't help you get better. So positive self-talk is really important. Sometimes deep breathing, relaxation, meditation, these are key factors in the moment to kind of help keep pressure and stress manageable. And as I've often talked about, just in general, nourishment, fueling, hydration, your body, getting exercise, sleep is key, because the less fatigued you are, the better shape your body and mind is, the better you're going to be able to manage stress. I think in conclusion, a key thing here is that pressure and stress is kind of, again, as I've said, a normal and inherent part of the trading process. And you really must embrace it and try to manage it. It's important also because some of you may not have experienced this kind of emotional, stressful pressure reaction in your lives and with previous jobs. And it can be really a shock to the system if you're first starting out and experiencing kind of a level of stress or anxiety or pressure that you had not had. And so a major challenge is really to manage it and deal with it effectively. Again, don't view this as a problem in the fact that it's an inherent integral part of trading, highly competitive endeavors. Just create pressure and stress. Just view it as another thing on your checklist of things that you want to kind of manage and kind of work on. So I think these are kind of a couple key reminders, and hopefully these last 4 segments on coping and managing pressure and stress have kind of educated you and given you a little insight and kind of manage and tips in terms of how to manage this more effectively moving forward, because it will be part of you throughout your trading career, as Norm and Carlos can tell you, no matter how successful or experienced you get.
That is 100% correct. It never ends. So thank you, Doctor. Very helpful.
Okay.
Have a wonderful week, and we'll speak to you next Monday.
Good enough, guys. Take it easy.
Take care, guys. Take care, Doc.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Cass. We definitely appreciate that. All right, guys, let's get to it. Starting with our list here, let's see what we have. CAN is on top of our list, 774,000, up 15%, moving really good right now. I think the pre-market is it's looking great on this one. And the daily, although it's a little bit wild here, I think this can be a good one for today. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Here is Plug as well, up nicely, 9%. And man, this thing looks very nice this morning. Definitely like the pre-market action. Volume is coming in pretty nice. And the daily looks very good on this, guys. Again, holding on to this 45 area over here and looking for a possible continuation after a good day Friday. So I like Plug. FSR has been very active, very extended on the daily here. We do have shares for sure. Now be careful with this one, guys. This one can move very aggressively. We saw that on Friday here as it kept just pushing higher. But again, this stock has been very strong. Pre-market action looks good with 1 million shares traded right now. We are down 3%, but just keep in mind this stock, again, don't have a bias. This stock is very, very strong, as you can see here on the daily. Let's wait for the market open to see what's going to happen there. Workhorse going into the red this morning, 1.5 right now, 1.4 million shares traded. And again, this one, guys, we got to be a little bit careful because we've seen a couple of drops during the intraday where it's just been very aggressive. We saw that here as well on this day here. There was another day where it had a pop up and it halted as well. So again, a lot of news behind this one, but I think this is worth watching. I think that the volume and the volatility we're getting on this one could create some good opportunities for us as well. OCGN, probably not the best one. I do like this daily here from Friday. Possible breakout. We're up nicely 2% right now with some good volume. I'm on the fence on that one. Might not stay as one of my main ones, but definitely the numbers are looking good as well as the charts on that one also. American Airlines up slightly, 3.6, 859,000 shares traded. I do want to watch something in the travel sector. I think with these vaccines coming out, these are going to be exciting. I know J&J has been very active this morning as well. But again, it's just not great to trade. So I'm not going to have that one on my list, but you can if you do like to trade this one. So guys, I think this whole list here, this whole main list looks good. Let's quickly just go through our secondary list and see if we can find something that looks better that we can move up. NEO is up 6%. Again, great volume, but I'm going to keep it as a possible for now. AMC is going to be interesting. I'll keep it on there. FDLM, well, that ticker is wrong. What ticker was this? This was a different one. This was FLDM. That's the correct ticker there. No, it's not looking great. I'm just gonna remove it. I'm just gonna get rid of that one. WIMI here, WIMI. This one looks okay, guys. So we'll keep that on there. ATNX. Again, I like this one because a huge drop here. We're down 54%. Great volume, but I'm just gonna get rid of it. I don't think it looks good pre-market wise. It's signaling that it's gonna be some kind of chop here. So I'm just gonna get rid of it. I think compared to what we have on our main list, we kind of set the bar on what we're looking for. Here's United again. These travel companies doing very well. These airlines, United again, up 4.6, doing very well there. A good possible backup for American Airlines. CCL is a good one. I'll keep an eye on this one right now. Again, 2 million shares traded, up 3.4. POTR, that's good as well. BA doing very nice this morning. That's good too. And then MU, I like the daily MU. So I think we have a good, decent secondary list as well. All right, let's do levels. But I did not see anything that we can move up or that we should move up just yet. Maybe for OCGN. Yeah, OCGN, guys. Not even sure if it could be maybe a possible at best. So let's move that one down. Let's do that. Let's move that one down. OCGN. We'll throw that one here. Get rid of this over here. How many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can afford to move one more up. Let's see which one that will be. I want to say PLTR, but PLTR could be so wild. It's scary at times to move that one up. But you know what? I think that's probably the best one here on this list, PLTR. Let's put that one on there. Let's do levels for it. We'll be ready, and if it doesn't trade well, we won't touch it. Here it is, CAN, guys. High of the pre-market, 1838. Let's do a level there. Above that, you're pretty much covered with some levels here. High from yesterday, and then above that, you got one here, 2229, all the way up here at 2485. Then towards the bottom, the only thing I'm going to mark down here, guys, is the low of the pre-market, down at 1635. Then aside from that, you got your previous day close, you got the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, and this beautiful area of support, which is your previous day close at 1516. Look how many times we have bounced off of that. Right, we had a couple of red days, and that has been the area where this stock has found support, found some bids, and pushed the thing up nicely towards the top here. So interesting. We're up 15.8. Is that going to hold and create a new push towards the top here, towards that 20, 22 area? That'll be great to see. But yeah, this is very interesting. I love the support that we're getting there on that daily. Here is Plug, guys. Again, Plug similar, did drop nicely, found support around 44. It's just been banging its head between 44 and 48. Today we're breaking out of this area. Now this is becoming great support. Low of the pre-market, 51.10. Their pre-market high right now being created at the moment, right where it was previously at a 52.97. So I'm going to mark that down, guys. Basically almost 53 there. I'm going to mark that down there in case we do decide to make this support as we push through this through this resistance here, which it looks like we want to at the moment. So again, looking pretty good right now. Pre-market action 9.5. We've seen Plug trade very well over the last couple of days. We have some pretty good trading on that one. Another level here of great resistance and support, 57.76. That looks very good there. And then above that, again, the daily you can see is not the greatest, but you do have areas where there's a lot of touches on the levels, right? So for example, this one here is 63.30. Yes, you do have a couple of wicks that break out of that, right? And you should consider that maybe minor area of support and resistance. But if you draw this line here at 63.30, you can clearly tell this is where the action is happening, guys. I mean, just look at the support, how many days are opening, closing right around that area. You definitely want to have that on there. If you want extra levels, you know, if you're scalping and want to take quick partials, another one here, more of a minor area of support resistance, the 60.91. But that 63.30, that is definitely where you want to put a lot of weight on because you have so many touches on that level. So that completes it there for Plug. Plug looks very good. FSR, guys, been very active, had an insane day on Friday. And even before that, I mean, this thing's been very strong. I mean, we know we had a huge couple of drops in the SPY that kind of dragged these stocks down. Some that were actually doing very good that had earnings, but again, with the SPY dropping so much, kind of slowed down their movement there. But this one Friday definitely took off, so looking pretty good there. Low of the pre-market 26.70. Above that, the high of the pre-market pretty much slamming into the previous day close, so that's taking care of you there. And then you have the high all the way up here at 29. 29 and 28, which is the high from Friday, and this is your all-time high. There's nothing else up here, so that's all you really have as far as levels. And then towards the bottom, you have your highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. So pretty nice here. Again, another one that moves very aggressive, so be careful in the number of shares you take on that one. Here is Workhorse. Workhorse continues to drop, guys, looking very, very good. Low of the pre-market right now, 15.25. We'll throw a level there. And again, we're just slamming into this area of support. It has a lot of levels down here. You have the lows from the last 2 trading days. You have a couple of lows down here at 13.61 and also all the way down here at 12.57. Let's mark both of those. But again, looking rather weak at the moment as we continue to drop now, down almost 6% right now with some really good volume. So Workhorse looking good there. Let's take a look at American Airlines. Again, the airlines are definitely interesting the last couple of days. Right now, American Airlines, they're high of their pre-market sitting at 21.82. Above that, you have the highs from the last 2 trading days. Well, from the last trading day on Thursday. Then slightly above that, this 22.10 is the high of the day before. This would have been on, I believe, Wednesday. And then Thursday's opening as well. You have right on there 22.10. So you do want to mark that level there just in case we do decide to go higher here this morning. And then towards the bottom, guys, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Previous day close right on there are pretty much taken care of you. You do have your low of the pre-market over here at 21.31. I'm not going to mark this one. I'm not going to put a lot of weight on there. Again, you don't have much volume happening there. I think the low from the high from Friday is going to be more important level to watch for us this morning. So I'm not going to mark that one, but you can if you like to as well. PLTR, guys, again, I like the daily on PLTR. Right now, they're pre-market high, sitting all the way up 25, 26. We're struggling at the moment at this in the pre-market at this 25.45. So I'm going to mark that down because you can definitely see the struggle that this stock is having here. It did early on around 6 a.m. all the way until 7, couldn't break through that. It started again around 8:15 now into current times, trying to break above that 25.45. So you want to mark that on there. I know it's not the pre-market high, but you can just tell how much resistance this stock is having at that price point. Above that, you do have the highs from the last 2 trading days and the lows as well towards the bottom. So you pretty much cover as far as that. Just in case we do get a run here and we blow past the high from Friday, we're going to put a level right on here, guys. This is a good one too, 27.28. Definitely got some good support happening there, good resistance as well. And if you go back into last 2 months ago, because we're in March already. Wow, we are in March already. How crazy is that? A year before everything shut down, we're coming up against here. So here 27.28, good level of resistance, guys. Then we had this beautiful breakout here on the 22nd, right? So that was nice. So that's a good level to have as well if this thing does decide to be strong for today. All right, we have a really good list, guys, this morning. To recap on the secondary, we have OCGN starting to drop here. That's looking interesting. Definitely want to keep it on there. NEO is good. AMC could be fun, but not really much going on. So yeah, I think I'm just going to drop this one. WIMI at the moment. This is interesting, guys. Look at the way this is crawling up here, trying to get towards that pre-market high at 10.50. So that could be interesting there. Their dailies really all over the place. So there could be a good just for scalping opportunities. United Airlines looks a little bit better than American Airlines because United is pushing up against their highs, right? So that could be interesting. I might switch that. CCL is okay. PLTR is good as we discussed. Actually, we have PLTR up here. We can delete it from here. BA is nice, and also MU. So, all right, pretty good list. Let's see what our moderators have this morning, guys. Let's bring over our watch list, get our lineup from them here. All right, we're going to move this right over here, and let's see what we have. So starting with Peter, so no IPOs anticipated for today. Again, guys, the Dallas meetup, March 3rd with Andrew and Norm. Here's the details. This is also posted on YouTube. You do not have to be a member to attend, so please feel free to join us. And members or anybody joining us on YouTube, if you have anyone that's interested in trading, bring them along and, have some fun and a couple of drinks there. Here's Eamon's watch list: American Airlines, DKNG, RKT, secondary list, FSR, Fubo, and Twitter maybe. Not interested in much today. Mike is looking at break of high scanners as usual. He's looking at BA and Airbnb this morning. Tiffany likes FSR, Workhorse, and Neo. Secondary plug and Apple. Dima is looking at plug, PLTR, Mara, and Neo. And Brian is looking at Workhorse, DKNG, FSR, plug so far as he continues to work on his list. So good, guys. We got a pretty nice day to start out the week, to start out the month. So far, our list is looking very good. I think it's going to be exciting way to get started into March here. SPY at the moment looking very strong, guys, up 1.3, some good volume. So we'll see, man. Just look at the action we're getting here on the SPY. This is creating some real good movement and volatility for us day traders. So let's take advantage of it. Again, manage risk according. And if you're trading in sim, still, follow your plan. There's no rush to trade live, because sometimes you feel, oh my God, I gotta trade live now because this is happening now. This happens all the time. We find opportunities all the time. Week in, week out, we're gonna find opportunities. So follow your plan. Do not feel rushed to go live. Take your time. If you need another month or two, do what you have to do. The market is going to be here when you are ready to trade live. So just keep that in mind, guys, especially as you're starting the month and you see other traders to start to go live. Keep that in the back of your head that, this is going to happen, at some other time as well. There'll be other opportunities. All right, guys, with that said, take care. Reminder, we start tomorrow at 8 a.m. with Jared. So do not forget that. Also, we have our onboarding class tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time in the classroom. So for those new members, meet with Mike and myself there. And then right after that is Kyle's class at 9 p.m. to 10, going over some tech stuff for you today. So do not forget that. And if you haven't signed up yet for the class, you still have time. So make sure you do that. Go to our website and sign up for tonight's class. Take care, guys, and I will see you tomorrow at 8 a.m.